This conference will now be recorded.
Uh, Hi everybody, this is a presentation about project portfolio manage. I will go through the overview of this module in ServiceNow and how all it is being set up, what all are the tables available and the basic understanding of PPM working. So the agenda of this training today is PPM introduction, how idea and demand management works, and project tasks in association with portfolio and program, how the whole structure model of the PPM module is set up, project template and other related tables that are going to impact a project, a demand, or a portfolio program and all the cost plan and resource plan. I will also go through the planning console, which is a Gantt chart, how to work in that chart and all. And so if I want to give an overview of the life cycle of project portfolio management, it begins with ideation. So any idea is like, so the PPM module will definitely uh, be for the betterment of the organization. Like IT is one of the product, but in that ITBM module, how to use project portfolio suite uh, to find solution for a portfolio program. Like suppose there is a target of making so much of revenue from the IT sector. What all programs would you want to design, and in under those programs, whatever projects you want to define and plan, and the whole financial year planning, what all you can expect profits, or it is for the betterment for the organization. All these things need to start from somewhere. So it starts from an idea. In the PPM suite, what the service now offers is that submitting an idea can be done through any user. You can add it to the portal view where anybody can submit an idea, and if that idea uh, makes sense to the business goals and aligns with the strategies of the company, then then the demand management people can accept the idea. So whenever an idea is submitted and accepted, it becomes a demand. That demand will be in draft, and the demand management people, whoever it is assigned to, whatever portfolio people are working on that demand, they will fill in all the information about it, the business use case, the justification, the planning, and what all risks are involved if we don't do implement this demand, or whatever benefits we have, all that will be documented. So that is there. And then there is a stakeholder meeting that happens where the demands are screened and approved. Whatever approved demand are there, they are qualified. And suppose, like, we have to prioritize, there are 100 demands, but in this quarter, which is the most important, and without which demand there will be a loss, or it will affect our standards of profit margin, that all those things happen when the stakeholder meeting and the demand management meeting. And then there is a plan set up after whatever demands have been chosen, how to take it forward. Are these operational work, or are they capital work? Like, capital and operational are two types of demands. Like, operational is like to keep things running, and capital is like to introduce a whole new system from scratch. So what happens is there is planning, and they they decide on this demand should be a project, or it should be an enhancement, or it is just a change to the existing system, or it is a defect fix. So all that is done, and then the submitted enhancements, defects, or projects will be worked on. So this is the project portfolio management. I will show in the so how to submit an idea and how it goes through different states. I'll create a new idea. So that idea can be like, what can be the title, and service now ITBM implementation. If you want this to be done currently in the ServiceNow project, what the customer is working on, it only has ITSM maybe. So somebody says that we can introduce ITBM module. We can show the customer the benefits of this module and introduce that. So select business development, something. So by doing this, we'll get more business from the customer. So ServiceNow can help the customer manage their financials and planning. And then, like this user will submit the idea. Now, this idea can be accepted or deferred. So if you hover over here, it says accept idea to promote as a demand. I'll now it should be done by a demand manager. So whoever has IT underscore demand underscore manager role, they can do that. So a demand is created with respect to this idea. If you go to that demand, you can see that different states in the process flow here. So I'll quickly go through whatever fields are involved and all. So currently it is in a draft state. You can see that there are two categories. If you see, there is strategic and operational. If there is a strategic, then in this type field, you can see project and enhancement. If it is operational, then this drop down has different values, that is change and defect. So you should properly understand what the business requirement of this demand falls into. Like if it's a strategic thing goal where it will meet the for the betterment of financial achievements, then it is done like that. So suppose we are choosing project and all, and then so portfolio and program management, I can tell you that okay, in an organization there is a wherever there is business improvement planning going on, they have it like a main portfolio, like IT improvising is a portfolio. Under that, there might be two, three programs. There might be ServiceNow, Salesforce, other technologies as different programs, and under those programs, there can be different projects that will bring revenue, that will be strategically aligned to the goals of that financial year and everything. So you can, I'll explain the portfolio and program creation later. And demand manager you can submit, and whatever collaborators you add here, they can put input to this business case tab here, and everything they can help in the in improvising the demand and getting it properly documented, so that when they submit the demand going forward, all the information is present. So there is strategies and goals. You have to make a clear distinction that what this demand will achieve, and then there is business case, risk of performing, risk of not performing, and enablers, barriers, in scope, out of scope, assumptions. So when a demand manager or people in under that portfolio and collaborators put information here, it will help the stakeholders to screen the demand and give, like, get a proper idea of why we should implement this demand into a project or an enhancement as soon as possible. So it all depends on how many good demands were implemented this year that helped in the financial contribution. So all this needs to be filled very clearly. I will explain the financial model, that is like capital expense is like what will be the expense before even it is running, like all the resources required, all the costs, budgets, everything that is required in the beginning of a project or anything is capital expense. However you have planned it, like, okay, if it is being implemented in 3 months, what is the cost, what is the uh, like resource billing rate, whatever is there beforehand. There is software capex and everything. So you have to define. It's like if you hover here, it will give you a proper definition that it is a capital expense. Okay, they are just explaining about this particular request, what should be the capital expense. And operating expense is like if it's going to cost every month some amount of a software license or some amount of cost for the ongoing operations. If you want to keep things running and there is some cost involved regularly in some intervals, you can define it here. Total planned cost and financial return. Total planned cost is the sum of capital and operating expense both. And then whatever planned cost is there, you have to also define financial return that you are planning for this demand. What do you think will be the return? And then there is a financial benefit and return over investment percent. So all these will give the stakeholders a clear idea as to financially how this demand is going to boost their goals of that year, or it is just a strategic goal for that can be kept after some time also. So all these budget and net value, return over investment will give a clear idea for while screening the demand. And impact, risk, value, t-shirt size is like how big is the demand. So you have all these options. So when the screening process is done, they can screen the demands based on the size. Okay, let's first discuss all the large demands. And if it's a large demand, what is the return over investment percentage? What is the budget of that demand? So all these will give a proper idea. And then here you can add stakeholders. You can create a new stakeholder group and they will be the people who will be approving that demand. I'll just try to add one user here. You can also say influence of this user is high or medium, engagement is supportive, resistant, like whatever stakeholder register you are creating, And there will be a demand assessment also if you want. And if he is an approver, yes, then the approve demand, when you click on that approve button, then it will go there. After filling in all the information, you can submit the demand. Then the stakeholder managers can come in and screen and qualify. You can see the process flow is clearly defined at the top. So to and if they feel this demand can be approved, here create baseline is also there. Baseline is like taking a proper, whenever every detail is filled in this demand, you can create a baseline that okay, this was the initial documentation of this demand. So between baselines, and suppose there are requirements changing, or there is a risk, impact, anything, analysis, assessment, after all the screening and qualifying, something is changing, you can create one more baseline and see what all changes were there between the baselines. That will give a clear picture as to how much deviation in the delivery time, or how much deviation in the resource plan or cost plan is going to happen. And the stakeholders will approve the demand if everything is all right, or then they also have an option to reject, and then it will go to draft again, and reset to draft is there. When even after approval, if there was a change, and they just want more information, they can reset it to draft. And then you also have this related idea present here, and you can see that there's a create project related link that will create the project. So going back to my presentation, this was the whole PPM life cycle. Idea demand, will it be a project enhancement, and how screening and approving demand is being done. What is this planning and execute comes, the planning comes in the resource plan, cost plan, whatever operational expenses, capital expenses, and return over investment, all the strategies, goals, everything, planning will come here. And then so release, submit whenever there is enhancement, defect, project. So how it proceeds and finally gets into the production instance, or finally is being released. And so until that, the project portfolio management life cycle is involved. So I would like to talk about project management and how is the project data module. A project is like um, whenever you create a project, you have three types of phases wherein the work can be done: waterfall phase, agile phase, testing phase. Here under waterfall phase, there is a project, and there's a project task, or there are number of defined project tasks which will be predefined and will happen in a orderly manner, wherein it is not like something is implemented and some other work is coming and then it is implemented. After all the implementation, after all the implementation is done, after all the testing is done, only that project is deployed once. That like it is not an ongoing phase of that. In agile phase, you have different stories, like in the first 15 days, one sprint will be there will be stories, and then stories will can have scrum tasks. So every day, every 15 days, some stories are selected, like there is a sprint planning that happens, and story wise the project is delivered. And testing phase, in a testing phase, there is test case and test that happens. I can show that in the project management life cycle when I'm showing the planning console and workbench. As I discussed, creating a demand, viewing list of demands, enhancing a demand, assessing a demand. So creating a demand, we saw viewing a list of demands. Whoever is the stakeholder or demand management, everybody will sit together and see the list of demands. They and whoever is the demand manager of that particular demand should strive hard to enhance a demand, to put in the best information possible in that demand. And assessing a demand, the demand manager can screen the demand, send surveys to stakeholders to complete the assessment. The demand manager can set the state of the demand to qualify, defer, or incomplete. Demands can be analyzed and approved using the demand workbench. I'll show the demand workbench as well. Creating an artifact, that I explained that how if it is a strategic demand, we can create projected enhancement. If it's an operational, then we can create a change or defect. So all the points I covered in the demo that I did. Demand states, when you submit, it is submit an idea and it is accepted by a demand manager, it becomes a demand which state as draft. The accepted idea creates a demand record and the demand manager submits the demand. There will be screening, which will initiate assessments for the which where the demand manager can initiate assessments for the demand, qualify the demand, approve the demand, and complete the demand. So this is the whole portfolio management model that is there. Using portfolio management, you can create portfolios which are collections of related programs, projects, and demands. You can then perform financial planning and monitor the status and progress of these portfolios. Under portfolio comes program. A program helps you to logically group related projects or demands under a single entity. So all ServiceNow projects will come under a ServiceNow program. All Salesforce projects or SAP projects will come under their respective programs, and all these will be under a portfolio, which is IT something, whatever the organization is planning. Program management application helps you to manage the related projects and demands in coordinated way that is not possible when projects and demands are managed independently. So program management can give you a very clear idea as to related projects and related project tasks, how are they running, a clear picture of all the tasks being run, you can see that. So let's move on to project management. Project is any planned collaborative effort that is designed to achieve an objective. First, set up the project, estimate values and prepare resources, create the project, add tasks, create dependencies, assign resource. So initially, when you create a project, it's in draft, you have to fill in all the information that is required in the planning phase, like wherein you're estimating the requirements, the business use. I'll show you all the details in the project form. Then manage the project, start the project, create a baseline, monitor project dashboards. Then finally close the project, analyze baselines and actual values, manage related incidents and problems and changes. Project tasks are the units of work that make up a project. The project management application enables you to create parent-child relationships between the task and dependencies, such as finish to start and finish to finish between the tasks. So all this project task relation I can show you in the planning console. I will I'll now show you to create a portfolio, a program, project, project task. So all this I'll be showing. So portfolio, if you click here, under portfolios, click on create new, IT profitable portfolio description. IT projects that will bring profit. You can define a portfolio manager here. The user should have IT underscore portfolio underscore manager role. Just assigning one. So as you can see, there is demands, projects, programs. So the hierarchy definitely says that under a portfolio there should be programs, and under a program there should be demands and projects. But you can still have direct demands and projects tagged to portfolio, like just create a demand here. So that is also possible. Now I'll create new program. I might service now technology. So who is the program manager? Here also there are different state flows that you can see. And the financial planning, capital, operating, planned cost, budget, benefit, percentage of planned return over investment, everything is here. So once you submit the program, you can see it here under that portfolio. So the status green, yellow, red depends on the program manager. If the program manager feels that whatever goals and strategies were defined and for this year that is not being worked on properly, or he can change the state depending on the planned start date. Like if the planned date was 1st of Jan and even it after Feb also it's not being worked on, what is the status of it? So the there are related links for program as well, the program budgeting and program workbench. You can have program tasks, demands, projects, risk issues, cost plans, and everything under this program. You can directly go and create a project here, or I can show you that how a project is created from the beginning. So project, if you type, all these options come up under that. Go to create new project. So project name is ServiceNow ITBM implementation for XYZ customer, something like that. Here you have to fill in the project manager. Whatever this project depends on, the whole documentation, baselining, checking the progress, creating milestones, project tasks. This project manager is responsible for that. And this person should have IT underscore project underscore manager role. And then when you search here, you can align the portfolio. I just created the portfolio. I'll check if this has come up here. I had created this IT profitable work portfolio. Then you can select the program. ServiceNow technology specific projects that I created, and you can put in the description as how ITBM implementation you're planning for this customer, and you put in the dates, like what is the planned start date that you're thinking. Maybe it's next month or something, and this planned end date automatically went to the planned date itself, and you can define the date here. Automatically the planned duration was calculated in days. And financials, if you have a fixed currently here it's a dollar currency type, you can change it. If it's $1,000 planning capital cost and $1,000 operating cost, and what is the rate model. So you can define this, submit this project, and if the calculation is automatic or manual, like how the cost plans and everything, if you want it automatic, then you submit this project. Find your project here. The program end date has been changed. You can see that date was changed because the under that program we added this project, and the roll up happens. Whatever the dates of the project are, that will be reflected in the program. What was the project name? ITBM. I'll search for the ITBM keyword. So this was the project that I created. So you can see that after submitting a project, it shows you all the initiating phase, planning, executing, delivering, and everything. The percentage is calculated based on the number of project tasks. Now I'll show you the project task creation and defining dependencies and everything. So first, like we discussed about the dates, it's still loading. Just give me a moment. So this schedule you can define, like this project management schedule or some other schedule, whatever. It's similar to whatever schedule is there in the normal ServiceNow definition, wherein you can have child schedules and everything defined, like what is your project year and all. And between these planned state, planned start date and planned end date, it will calculate the number of days automatically. The planned effort also you have to submit, and actual start date and actual end date are actually rolled back from the project tasks created. So if there is a project task, first project task, suppose kickoff meeting, that you made it work in progress and added an actual date there, then that date will be reflected here. And then, okay, so in the details tab, you'll see the portfolio program associated with it. What is the investment type? What is the execution type of this project? Waterfall, agile, or hybrid? Are there project tasks that follow a story scrum model, or there are project tasks and project task dependencies defined as might be in a waterfall model, or there are some project tasks which are following agile phase and some tasks following waterfall phase. Then you can select here hybrid. What is the priority of the project and the phase and department, impacted business units and capabilities and business applications, you can all define here. This business case is same that we saw in demand, the strategies, goals, business case, risk of not performing, enablers, barriers, in scope, out of scope. So this is what a project manager and demand manager document here for the clear understanding of the whole project. And whenever there is a baseline created, um, it is documented as that particular requirement freeze kind of thing. In financials, you can see that since we had this automatic calculation, planned capital, planned operating, together added my total planned cost, and planned return is just defined here. You can edit it by planned benefit and all. And all these financials in depth we can have in some other session, but for now the basic understanding is to have the understanding of what is a planned cost, how operating cost and capital cost contribute to the total planned cost. And if you see the related uh, tables that are there, that are project tasks, sub projects. This project can have other projects under it: stories, requirements, resource plan, cost plan, budgeting, all the risk issue decision actions, and stakeholders, time cards, expense lines. So if you go to the project task and create new, so you have to define like, what is this? First, I want a kick-off meeting, that the starting day when the project kicks off, like what all discussion, planning dates and everything, and it's assigned to which group. I will explain about the milestone and key milestone later on when I'm showing a planning console. So here I have selected the plan date as 12/12. So whatever date has been selected there in the project task will be reflected here in the project dates. Go to dates. See, the plan started and plan ended got updated based on that project task. Now, if I go to this project task and change the dates here, then it will reflect again. So you have to understand that the whole project management and portfolio management works on this planned task module, that they are all derived from planned underscore task table. So there's a field called rollback. If that's true, then all these dates that are there, that can, so first date has been freezed, and if you increase this duration, that will be affected, and that can be updated. Then I can quickly show you, like if I click on this create agile phase, then one project task will be created. Like this is like creating a project task with the agile phase and agile project task phase. And if you save it, you can see that this agile tab is there, wherein you define as to what is the assignment group, what is the start of sprint and end of sprint. And if you want that roll updates from stories, like you can see that stories tab is here. If you want this, if you check this, this will become read only. So if you uncheck, you can define the sprint, you can define create stories under it. So when you say an agile, this will happen. And if you just create a waterfall phase, it will just create a project task without this agile tab. To properly see that, you can click on project workbench, so you can see that one is showing. And if you just do plus here, it will ask you if you want a waterfall phase type or agile and test. These three phase types you can add to the project. Add water, just for example, I'm adding a waterfall project task, and you give them the plan start date and plan end date, and submit. It will show you like where is the waterfall project task coming in under this. And if you create a milestone is like a project task whose duration is 0. It's like no, it's not like a task where something is being worked on. It's like reaching that milestone. Suppose UAT start or UAT finish or migration to test. All these are milestones that project managers define in a project, that where they can say that okay, during meetings and when they are showing the progress, they can say that we have reached these four milestone, or we have reached these two key milestones, like wherein the maybe in key milestones you define that such payments need to be recorded whenever there's a milestone reached. And if it's a key milestone, you are expecting some payment where from the customer, you can define that like that with proper project planning, that if this percentage of the work is done and this key milestone is reached, you will require that kind of payment.
So one question, can we convert a task to milestone?
Yeah, you have created a project task, you just update it by checking the milestone. It will become a milestone, and then whatever duration you added, that will become that start date and end date will become the same day.
Okay.
So here there is, if you click on this arrow mark, it will show you two options. One is project workbench, one is planning console. In project workbench, you add phases to the project. Okay, this is the waterfall phase that I want to add. This is a agile phase that I want to add. There's a testing phase that I want to add, and you add milestones and all. In planning console, I'll just switch it and show you. Why is it taking so much time? You can switch it, select any project and switch to planning console. I will, it's not opening from here. Maybe my internet is slow or something. Here also you can see the related link. Okay, planning console. So I'll directly click from here, planning console. I don't know what is happening. Okay, it got loaded. So can you see this planning console? Here you have these columns, like whatever is the project short description, project task, whatever project tasks we created. Currently there's no dependency involved. Here you can select the time frame where you want to see this graph. This whole chart is called Gantt chart. Okay, so when you're just seeing this month's zoomed in level, you can see like how it will look in a quarter. So December to March, if there's that quarter, then how are these tasks looking? So I want kickoff day to be 2 days task. So what I'll do, I can pull this here, make it like a 3 days task, something like, and I want it to happen such a way that this agile project task phase should happen only after the kickoff meeting. So this is what we call the WBS, workbench structure, work breakdown structure, sorry, number. So this whole task is now 1. So I want second task, the task number 2 to start after this. So I'll define it as 1fs, and see here, one line was created here. Now I want a little bit of zoom in. I don't want this quarter. What I'll do, I'll see this months. You can clearly see date wise that 2 days there's a kickoff meeting, then this agile project task phase has started, and if you hover on that connecting wire, it will say finish to start. The connection is like finishing of this task and then start of this task. So you have defined this dependency.
So
Now
what's
the
the one question? What's the color coding on the project task depicts? Like whether it's a light blue bar or dark blue bar?
this project coloring you're saying,
Yes.
it's always this color only. There is
Be-
a there
there are
is
two types
a
of colors, right?
whenever there is one concept that is there, that is this critical path. So when you click on this critical path, it will show you the tasks in red. Whatever tasks are directly affecting the planned end date of that project. So if you do like this, then that red color will show up. So what color
Because
are you
because
asking?
usually light blue means the task is pending or open, and dark blue means that percentage completion is between
Yeah,
1 to
yeah.
100.
So when you make this project task as work in progress, you can just see that. It's still loading. Uh, I'll first save it in the planning console. So if you save changes, only then it will reflect there. You can see that how much it has reached in the planning console. Now everything is in planning. I think everything is future dates itself, right? You can see that December 12, 2019 only it will start. So nothing is ongoing right now. If I create a task which is in October and it has been worked on, or the actual start date has started there, then you can see the difference. I'll create a new task. I'll call it pre-planning, pre-planning, and okay, this date I cannot manipulate because my start date itself was in December. So, and it's like automatic project here. In the program dates also I have to change, in the project dates I have to change actually. This is this is 12/12. So in the planning console, you can see that difference actually, that whatever has been completed and whatever is in still in pending and working pending, that is different. You are right, that dark blue, a little bit of difference it will show here also. That's why I'll create one more project which was a old project, and then I can show you this color difference. Even if this is in work in progress, the percentage of the project will be affected. That okay, one project started out of 5 projects. If one project is started or one project is completed, it will divide it as 20% complete, something like that. So this is how the project percentage is auto calculated. So one project, if you make it as a work in progress, the whole project phase, which was not phase, the state of the project also changed to work in progress. So everything is a rollback. State is rollback, dates are rollback. So you have to keep that in mind. And in this planning phase, this finish to start, if I want this to start after some days, if I want like there's a lag or delay, you can just click on this dependency link. This dependency task that has been created between these two project tasks, that is what is the predecessor and what is the successor task, you can see that, and what is the subtype. So these are the type which you can define. And if there's a lag of 2 days, like after the finish of the first task, if you want 2 days to be there, and then the next task to be created, you can do it like this. And once you update, you can see that 1fs plus 2 is being there here, and you can see it here. And if you want to create one more task, you can just add this plus task, add new example project task. Now if you want to move this task up, then just select that task and move up. You can do that. And if you want to move it down, select that task and move it as much down as you want. And then okay, how to create a milestone. So this task I created, now I want to go back to the details. Like from planning, if you click on details, it will show you the project. I'll just save this changes. In this details, if I check this as milestone and update, and again go to the planning console, you can see that that milestone, the task which was in a rectangle line shape, now it will be as a diamond shape. The milestone is represented that way. So until this planning console opens up, yeah, it's here. See this new example, this diamond shape is here. You can then define the dependency that after development is complete, this 4fs, you can just double click here, add 4fs. Okay. So after this dev complete, you can have this connection was being made. Now for that example that you wanted to see the difference, like it happens for if the dates are before today, that is represented in slightly darker phase, that okay, this according to this timeline, we are now we have now reached this time. So create one project where the I don't think it will allow me previous dates or no. Let me check. Yes, that's there. And I'll create tasks from 17 to 25. Let me see how it will show up in the planning console. This will be suppose 11-day task. I'm submitting it. I'll check the planning console. So here there is this line that is showing you today's date. Like today is 21st, and this project task is overdue because it's still not in work in progress, and it's the start date has been passed. Let me just change that. Are you saying this thing about the color?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So that is on the state, closed complete only. Whatever is closed complete, that's the color it will come. Like whichever, if there were 4 tasks and only one task was complete, you could have seen the color difference there. And in the planning console, if you log in your personal instance, all these tour is being given, like what is this, what is this, this is an automatic project, this is called WBS, this is how to define dependency, project and project dependency also you can define, project and project task dependency also you can define, milestone dependency and everything. So the project managers find it really easy to work in this because they can just push and pull all these things and can have a proper view if for the quarter or the year and everything, and create new baseline. And this like all these options are available. You can just explore by trying out the Gantt chart and these configuration. If you want to enable it or disable it, you can see that here. And saving I've done. So that was the basic planning console understanding that I could give in this time. And then milestone I went through, like it's a project task of duration 0, and you can use these as to mark key dates and decision points and approvals and holidays in the project planning. Like they are treated like any other project task. You can create dependencies between the tasks and milestones. And like I showed you that it shows up as a diamond shaped task in the Gantt chart. The next thing is project template. So when you create a project and there are project tasks defined and everything, and you know that you have similar projects that you want, like the same set of project tasks, like there is a kickoff meeting, there's a planning duration, there is a presentation, there is a development begin, all these tasks and milestones have already been defined, and that and you consider it as a standard, then just create a project template. I'll show you that there's a related link in the at the top, create project template. So this project, whatever tasks it has, you can create a template, and the next time you want, you can just apply that template. See here, set save as new template, click here. It will ask like, what do you want this template? My standard template, something like that. Add description based on IT project. So whatever is the understanding, so this template will be created. So there's a related link of create project. If you just click on this, all these tasks will be created automatically. It will ask for a plan started. So we know that the duration of each project task is 2 days, 5 days, 7 days. So what it will do is, when you set a planned start date, according to that, it will deploy these project tasks timeline. So project name, my IT project 2, and start date I want it to be in now on November 1st, the start date. And then if I do OK, that project will be created with similar project tasks. Only the difference is in dates. Even that project had 22 days duration. Let it load and you can see. The same project manager has been copied here. Everything has been applied.
One question, are you aware of anything new which has come up in New York release?
I just looked into the product features, so I'm not much aware of the things that have been included in New York release, but I think there is innovation something that has been added. So
Innovation
I have to
management,
still,
yes.
yeah. So I have not got a chance to look at it, so I can check it later.
Okay. Yeah, because all the courses are relevant to the latest release.
Yeah, yeah. I just went through whatever in the product release are there. So I've included those points in my presentation as well, but I need to explore them a bit more. It's
Okay,
taking forever to load, so you get the project template, what it is, right? So all the project tasks, depending on this plan start, will be applied. And project templates can include project tasks, subtasks, attachments, other project information like the details of that project, finance, and everything. Because projects often get repeated, templates enable you to create, save, reuse the project structure. You can also modify existing templates, create projects from templates, and apply templates to empty projects. So, resource plan and cost plan. Do we have the time to explore in this?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. So if you say that there's a project for which you know that you need a resource group or a resource to work on, so you have to create a resource group. Suppose I know that it's a ServiceNow implementation project and I need uh, like 5 resources or 6 resources for a duration of 3 months. I can do this as part of project planning, and it's called resource planning. So let me just try to disconnect and connect again.
I think we can end the demo. That's fine. So let me stop the recording.